Good afternoon, students. Now we're in week 2 of English 101. So in week 2, all you have to do is just do the week 2 forum. And in the week 2 forum, it's all about building a community. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go into the week 2 English 101 study room. Now the study room is a place where all the students from all of the English 101 classes of all the different sections meet together and discuss their assignments. And so if you want to start a study group with students from other ENGL 101 classes, if you want to compare notes about the different teachers in English 101, that's where you do it. So the study room is kind of like a student cafeteria where all the students of the same class of different sections hang out together. You could also meet students from previous classes as well and get their tips on how to do certain assignments. So if you find a student for which you have common interests, then you guys can discuss, where you're from, and maybe if you live close enough together, you could actually get together. So the whole purpose of the study room is for you to meet other students, to socialize and learn about how to do your classes and the same classes together. So in the week 2 forum, what you're going to do is you're going to go into the study room, which is on the left-hand side of your classroom, and you're going to find a student in which you have common interest or a common interest. If you can't find a student with common interests, you could still take a look at the study room and then go back to week 2 forum to describe to other students, hey Joan, I went to the week 2 study room and I found many students with the same point of view as me. Or I talked with Julia and she gave me tips on how to do the assignment for this week. Or you could say like, well, I wasn't able to find anyone that had common interests with me. But it was very interesting to read about all the other students that took English 101, and maybe I could set up a Google study date with those students and we could study English 101 together, or they can help me with my English 101 essay, that sort of thing. So basically, your week 2 forum is the main purpose is for you to learn how to use the English 101 study room so that you learn how to congregate with other English 101 students. Then you go back to the week 2 forum to describe what you found in that study room. And as you take classes at LAPU, you will find a study room for each of the classes that you take. So let's say you're taking English 115. Then you're going to see an English 115 study room. If you're going to take English 105, then there's going to be an English 105 study room. So for each class that you take, there will be a study room that corresponds to that class. So week 2 forum simply introduces you to that study room. And you get to describe for the very first time what that study room experience was like. So that's week 2 forum. And then your week 2 quiz is going to be about formal writing. And so basically formal writing means that when we write a research paper, we have to use formal English and use third-person case. So study my week 2 quiz video and study my week 2 quiz lecture notes before you take your quiz. Because in my quiz notes, I go over the answers to your quiz questions. So that's why it's important to study the quiz notes and the quiz video first before you take the quizzes. Remember, you got to take the quizzes within the week that the quiz is scheduled for. Because for example, for week 2 quiz, you have to take the quiz during week 2. If you try to take week 2 quiz in week 3, the quiz will be closed. Then you have to email me and I can open the quiz for you if you say want to retake the quiz or if you missed taking the quiz during its scheduled time. Remember, during the week the quiz is scheduled. You can take that quiz as many times as you want to get that perfect grade or to get a good grade. So much for the quiz. And so you have the week 2 forum where you discover the study room. Then you've got the week 2 quiz where you talk about formal writing, where you're going to look at my quiz notes and my quiz videos first before you take the quiz. Then the last thing you have to do in week 2 is I think that's it for week 2. Yeah, you just have to do your week two quiz and your week 2 forum. And so I'm going to continue my discussion about the problem solution paper. So by now you will have already finished your problem solution outline, and you will have already given me what you're going to write for your thesis statement and what you're going to write for your body paragraphs. And so that I covered in the week 1 forum. And so here in week 2, you don't have to do any more writing assignments until next week. Next week, week 3, is when you have part 2 of your illustrative essay. Illustrative essay is the same thing as your problem solution paper. That's the same thing. So your part 2 of your writing essay, your writing assignment will be due next week, where you're going to transform your outline into a 5-paragraph essay paper. And so I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to give you an example of a student who wrote their paper. And so let me see. I'm going to do it based on my notes. Let's see. So some of the topics that previous students have done has been, is the Nevada school system rigged to fail students? Another topic was bad habits from too much screen time. In other words, looking at the computer screen for many hours at a time is not really good for children. And so what are 3 solutions that you're going to take in order to keep your child from spending too much time in front of a computer screen? So that was what another student wrote. Another student wrote about the 3 benefits of positive thinking. And yet another student wrote the 3 benefits of taking hot showers. So those are the 3. Another one wrote about how to deal with 3 ways to deal with a toxic boss. Another one so you can your problem can be about something that happened at the workplace or something that happens at home, something you want to solve at home or in your community. So another student wrote about homelessness in her community and 3 ways to solve homelessness in her community. Another one wrote about 3 ways in which she can make the streets safer by adding a stoplight to a busy intersection. So those were some of the other topics that students wrote about in the past. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go over an example of how to do this. So let's do the text. So the benefits of positive thinking. Okay, so benefits of positive. So that's one student's, in which she had the introduction, she had the hook, 5 background sentences, she had her thesis statement. So your introduction includes the hook, 5 background sentences that state the problem, and then your thesis statement that state the solution. And then your body paragraph, okay, your body paragraph, paragraph 2 will be solution 1, paragraph 3 will be solution 2. This should be now familiar to you because I did this, did the same exact thing and paragraph 5 is the conclusion. So let's take up, let's use this as our template. And so what's the introduction? So what are the benefits of positive thinking? And then you are going to write 5 background sentences in which you state the problem. Okay, so you state the problem. And then you could use a case study of somebody. So I would say, Janet feels depressed very often. She always looks on the negative side of things. Christmas is coming soon. She is not able to go home because of her new job. Janet is sad because she cannot see her family during Christmas. However, Janet has a lot to be thankful for. So if Janet thinks positively, she can be grateful for her health, her new job, and her new husband, and her friends. So 3 ways to in which positive thinking. So now you have your thesis statement. So I stated the problem so the problem is Janet is depressed because she can't go home for Christmas, and so she feels down, and she's always looking at everything negatively. And so this student's thesis statement is, but positive thinking is good for you. So your thesis statement would be, if Janet uses positive thinking, she can be happier. So 3, and then you get your thesis, 3 ways that positive thinking benefits a person's health are: positive thinking helps people overcome problems, makes people feel happier, and lengthens the lifespan. So then you have here solution 1. Let's see if I can get this to move up. So solution 1, that is that it makes people happier, helps people overcome problems, lengthens the lifespan, and then you repeat the thesis. Then you repeat the thesis and write out the summary of your essay. Okay? So here you're going to have to write full sentences. I just did it very quickly so that you could quickly see the structure of the problem solution essay. Obviously, you're going to have to write a full sentence like, one benefit of positive thinking is that positive thinking makes people happier, for instance. So that would become your topic sentence. Then you're going to write 5 to 7 sentences about how positive thinking makes you happier. Then you're going to write 5 to 7 sentences about how positive thinking helps people overcome problems. And then you're going to write in solution 3, 5 to 7 sentences about how positive thinking helps lengthen the lifespan. And then in your conclusion, you're going to repeat the thesis again. So you would say 3 ways that positive thinking benefits a person's health are that positive thinking helps people overcome problems, positive thinking makes people feel happier, and positive thinking lengthens the lifespan. After that, then you summarize your essay in 5 sentences. In other words, what do you want your reader to take away from this essay? So this will become your essay 1, okay? So your problem solution essay. So let's see if I can get out of this. So that pretty much sums up the problem solution essay. So your rough draft for your problem solution essay is due in week 3. So remember that for week 1, week 3, and week 5, we are going to be working on essay 1. So remember that the three steps to the writing process: pre-writing, writing, and rewriting. In pre-writing, which is week 1, you chose your topic and you wrote your outline. In writing, which is the second stage, you transform that outline into a 5-paragraph essay structure. So that's what you're doing in week 3. Then in week 5, you are going to rewrite your essay based on the corrections and feedback that I give you. And then and then you incorporate those corrections into your week 5 final draft. So then you finish that. Then essay 1 will be finished. So then you'll be starting your essay 2, which will be persuasive essay in week 4. So week 1, week 3, week 5, and there will be a slight overlap when you do your second essay, which is going to be week 4, week 6, week 8. So notice that how in week 4 and 5, you'll actually be doing your essay, finishing up your first essay as you start your second essay. There will be an overlap. So in that way, you're able to squeeze in 2 essays within this short 8-week period. So I hope that you got a lot out of this lecture for the week 2 of this English 101. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. You can also call me too. So if you feel like you want to talk with me personally, you can. I'll have my number is in my introduction, and you can then call me between 11 a.m. Pacific to 5 p.m. Pacific, or we can just set up an appointment where I call you or you call me at a specific time, so so I know you're there and you know I'm there, and then we can set up an appointment and talk about whatever difficulties you may be having in your assignments, okay? So always feel free to reach out if you're having difficulties. So as I always end all of my videos with, if you have any questions at all, feel free to email me, because that's what I'm here for. So that's it for this week. Have yourself a really good week too.